I was here in 2024. NDC amanyɔkuo no leaders bi ewo mu ma ne lukui sɛ His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ɛnyɛ adeɛ a ɔmayɛ hwee wɔ ɔman Ghana mu a ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ ohwɛ from Kwame Nkrumah time de besi saa time 2024 ne deɛ a ɔpɛ the worst president deɛ a according to NDC amanyɔkuo no ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne ne vice president Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ɔmo na aba a ɔmo ambɔ ɔmo ho mmɔden yie kura wɔ ɔman no according to NDC amanyɔkuo no. Enti no expectations kɔ high wɔ NDC amanyɔkuo no grassroots ne youth expectations kɔ high ne Ghanafoɔ nyinaa no expectations kɔ high a ne nyinaa yɛtwe ho sɛ nsɛm ahodoɔ a na NDC amanyɔkuo no ɛka no na ɔmatumi aka ne clear wɔ national television ne national radio so sɛ NPP amanyɔkuo no ambɔ ɔmo ho mmɔden deɛ na ɛsɛ yɛn nyinaa no ne yɛ expect sɛ ɔmo ba deɛ a yɛbɛhu nsakraeɛ foforɔ a ɛbɛboa ama ɔman Ghana atumpɔm sɛdeɛ ɔmo ankasa kaa sɛ ɔmo ba na ɔman a NPP amanyɔkuo asɛ no ɔmo aba bɛ reset no amanfo bebree na ɔmo wɔ atwenye mu a ɔmo twɛn NDC amanyɔkuo ne reset na abusua finally 1 year mu nie amanfo ahyɛ aseɛ ɛkasa enya asanketua ne nyinaa ne sɛ ɔmo kyerɛ mu a reset a NDC amanyɔkuo no promise yɛ no sɛ reset na ni deɛ a ɛne ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ NDC amanyɔkuo no askame ɔmo yie paa enya asanketua sɛdeɛ ɔmo kan ne dɛdɛɛdɛ wɔ opposition 2024 ɛne ɛnɛ how a reflect ɛmo ɔmo ankasa ehu bi ne deɛ ɔmo kyerɛ mu a yadada ɔmo yie paa ɔmo sɛ ade baako a NDC amanyɔkuo no betimi aka sɛ wayɛ aboa forex exchange dollar ɛne ɛho nkron ne ba ɛno pɛ na ɔmo sɛ wuyi ɛno di free hɔ deɛ a ɛnneɔma a ɛkɔ so wɔ mmɔnten so ɛnɛ koko akuafoɔ complaini ɔmo a ɔmo yɛ good adwuma complaini ɔmo nso a ɔmo yɛ nurses complaini teacherfoɔ nyinaa doctorsfoɔ nyinaa no complaini amanfoɔ complaini wɔ ɔman Ghana mu ha deɛ abusua ɛnya asɛm ketewa no ɛnam so ama NDC amanyɔkuo no ɔmo ankasa grassroots wom aba abɔnten aba bɛsɛnde message bi ɛde ama NDC amanyɔkuo no appointees bi a 2025 no yɛma ɔmo post wɔ amanyɔkuo nim ebi CEO foɔ ɛne adeɛ ɔmo ka ho nyinaa no maba bɛsɛnde message bi ɛde ama ɔmo a ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ nkɔfoɔ bɛyɛ sɛ ɛnan anaasɛ enum bi deɛ ɛwɔ sɛ immediately His Excellency John Dramani Mahama hwɛ na ɔforce ɔmo resign because adwuma a ɔmo bɔ wɔ ɔmo sector deɛ ɛnya adeɛ a ɛsɔ ani yie kora yɛmbɔwuram deɛ nkotie nkɔfo kora ɛnɛ deɛ ɔmo ho aka adwam wɔ saa kwan no so nyinaa.
We're making big announcements. Fifi Quet, the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Uncle Fi, how are you? Fifi Quet has been making big announcements, and I'm excited about it because I've been talking to friends of mine about this announcement that Fifi Quet made today. And they called me wondering how I knew that Fifi Quet was going to make that announcement. I didn't know it was going to be in January, but I'm guessing that their PR took the position that the MPP has been covered for the last 3 weeks. And in politics, that's very interesting, and we always used to talk about that. If you have your opponent being covered for the last 3 weeks towards their Congress, you get the people thinking about them. So I guess that the PR decided that Fifi Quet should hold a press conference today, just so that you can have a balance of NDC conversation, NDC internal democracy, and that kind of thing. So it's a right PR decision. But I'm going to tell you the details of what's Fifi Quet, the meaning of what he said. Because I have been talking to people that, listen, when 2026 comes, this is what Fifi Quet and Asiedu Kete are going to do. And they are doing it against this person, against that person, in favor of this person, in favor of that person. So I'm going to tell you about that. By the way, I got a call this evening. What time was it? I think it was around 4 o'clock, and my phone was ringing. The name on it was Kwesi Pratt. I said, wow. So I picked the call. Kwesi Pratt started by saying, Paul, you are doing this thing again. I said, oh, Ambassador, what have I done? He said, stop calling me Ambassador. And I said, but you and I are ambassadors of the Cuban Revolution. Then we all laughed. Then he said, why did I go on TV, which is here, to come and say that he's the one behind the Kwame Nkrumah hospital, airport thing? And I said, oh, Ambassador, I spoke to the people. They said you were behind. He said I should mention their names. I said, but I can't. And then we had a nice conversation. So he's invited me to the Socialist Forum on the 24th of February, where they will be celebrating, I believe, the 60 years of the coup that overthrew Nkrumah. I begged him that I wanted to speak, but he said, no, I can't speak on that forum, and I can understand that. He said, that's their forum, and I'm speaking against, the motion is that the coup was bad. I want to speak in favor of the coup. So he said that I can't speak, but I can come on Alaji and Alaji, which is a great program on Pan-African TV, Kwesi Press TV, that I'll be joining sometime on Saturdays to express my right-wing views on a heavily left-wing program. So that's coming up. Okay, that's just a short announcement for you about my conversation with Kwesi Pratt. Let me come back to Fifi Quet. All right, let's look at the video of what the Honorable General Secretary of the NDC said today at his press conference.
Now, National Executive Committee approved eligibility provisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, pursuant to Article 54 of the party's constitution, the National Executive Committee has approved the following general provisions under Section H of the guidelines for the elections. 1. Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. I take that again. Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. 2. Chairpersons or members of boards or persons in analogous position are exempt from this restriction. Why? Because they are not full-time employees. So those who are full-time employees are affected. And the following are those who are affected. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, but are not limited to: A. Ministers and deputy ministers. B. Chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies, or analogous officers. C. Metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. So those are the 3 main categories that we mentioned. I take them again. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A. Ministers and deputy ministers. B. Chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies, or analogous officers. C. Metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. Now, the official guidelines for the elections will from today be made public. So all of you will be able to have access to it. Now, for the avoidance of doubt and for absolute clarity, those intending to contest at the constituency level who fall in the category I just mentioned, the 3 categories I mentioned, those intending to contest at the constituency level shall resign by April 2026. Those intending to contest at the regional level shall resign by May 2026. And those intending to contest at the national level shall resign by June 2026. These provisions are firm, constitutional, and we enforce without exception. So please don't even bother to come and see whether you can plead to be exempted. There's no plea in this matter.
Viewers, I'm not a soothsayer and I'm not a prophet, but I can assure you that there's going to be a court case on this one. There's going to be several challenges to this, and eventually there may even be a court case on it. But now let's get into the details. Fifi Quet says that if you want to be an officer of the party, so that means a polling station, I think they call it ward. The ward officers, constituency officers, regional. So that means regional chairman, regional secretary, regional deputy secretary, and the women's organizer and the youth organizer are going to be in a separate election, but they're also part of it. And then the national. Very interesting. Now, my first take on this matter, viewers, is the exemptions. The exemptions are so interesting. If you look at the personalities that have been exempted, you will see the point I'm making. Now, Fifi Quet says that ministers, deputy ministers, chief executives, deputy chief executives, and those appointed in analogous positions, That means those appointed in similar positions. So, for instance, executive director. You are not a chief executive and you're not a deputy chief executive. You are an executive director. So President Mahama appoints, apparently there's one at Ghana Commercial Bank. I think President Mahama has appointed somebody at Ghana Commercial Bank. He's like an executive director, something like that. So President Mahama appoints an executive director to maybe a Greek development bank where there's already an MD and a deputy MD. That person is in an analogous position. So that's just an example. Okay. Now, I'm tempted to go to the exemptions, but let me now go to those that have obviously been affected by this decision. Fifi Quet is not affected. So, George Opariado. Now, what it means is that if George Opariado, who is the national youth organizer of the party, he won an election, he was elected the national youth organizer of the party, coming into office, President Mahama has given him an appointment. He is the Minister for Employment and Manpower and all of that. Youth employment, manpower, something. Quite a nice portfolio. That's George Opariado. George Opariado continues to be the national youth organizer of the party today. His tenure is ending this year. Now, George Opariado has come into this position because he had been working with the youth during the campaign. So President Mahama has put him into this position so that the youth will find expression in government. The youth that George Opariado worked with, they will find expression in government through George Opariado's portfolio, which is concerning the youth. Now, George Opariado cannot continue to be a minister after May 2026 if he wants to continue as national youth organizer. I'm sure George Opariado, who has only done, I think he's done one term in the position. I stand to be corrected. I think it's one term. George Opariado, who's done one term in the position, now he wants to do another term. Fifi Quet's rules, which is now the national executive rules, says that Opariado must resign from the thing in May so that he can contest in November. If he wins, he remains there. He doesn't become a minister anymore. Wow. This is going to be interesting. So Opariado, gone. I can't see in Ghanaian politics how Opariado will say, I'm resigning from minister to go and run for party when the party is in government. The party is in government. So why is he going to? I mean, the government is more important than being in the party. All the party's efforts was so that they will be in government. Now they are in government, he's part of government, he should leave the government and go and do the party that is in government. How? Nobody will do that. So Opariado, down, out. He's not going to become, he's either going to leave the ministry to continue as national youth organizer to win another election, which I think he won't do. He'll be there. So he's no longer going to be the NDC's. All the experience he has, he keeps it in government. Another person becomes a national youth organizer to control the party. I'll tell you more about this. Opariado, down, out. Sammy Gyamfi, in fact, he has already said that he doesn't want to run as PR for the party anymore. He's already said it. As soon as the party won elections, he said, I'm not interested. I'm going to sell gold. It's better. I'm not interested in this party thing. I'm shouting then, well, I don't want you to be mentioning my name. Then they are calling me on newsfile and I just want gold and do my work. Please, I want peace of mind. I'm tired of this KK every day. My phone is ringing. Every time they are calling me from a table, but all radio stations have access to my phone. My WhatsApp doesn't sleep. Now I'm selling gold. I did all that so that we come to power. We are in power. President Mahama has given me a very important responsibility to protect the city. That is what I want to do. Party. Bye-bye. Okay, so he's gone. So not much to say about him. He's gone. He says he's not interested anymore. He's gone. All right. This is the big one. Malik Basintale. He has to leave the work. Fifi Quet said he should leave that place and wait. 6 clear months. 6 months. A whole 6 months. Get out of the place. 6 months. Come and run he's a deputy national communications officer. Yes. He's a deputy national communications officer. So he's Sammy Gyamfi's deputy. Basintale has not even done a quarter of what he wants to do in the party level. He has not done much. He was just exposed by election 2024 and railroaded into this position, and he was coming on Good Morning Ghana. He hasn't even paid Metro TV the dues that he has to pay because Basintale was discovered on Metro TV. Without Metro TV, nobody knew Basintale. It is Metro TV, Good Morning Ghana. He has still not come to pay it. If you see him telling that, I'm saying that the management of Metro TV is waiting for him. Since that we have made him minister, he should come and do something for us. Anyway, so that's Malik Basintale. He's a CEO of YE. Basintale has to leave. He has to leave the office and then become party. That's going to be a critical decision. How is President Mahama going to relate to this decision? I'll tell you that in a minute. So Basintale, trouble. Next. This one is part of my other analysis. So let me jump it and come back. Let's see who is there. This one too is part of my other analysis. Let me jump it and come back. Mustafa Gbande kept saying on Joy FM this evening that when they hadn't asked him any question, well, they had asked him a question, but it wasn't related. He said, he used the phrase about 3 or 4 times in 2 minutes. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the party. Do you know why he was saying that? Because this is indeed about him. It is about him. All this is about, he wants to run for General Secretary against Fifi Quet. So this is about him, Mustafa Gbande. He's currently the Deputy General Secretary. He wants to become General Secretary. Fifi Quet wants to maintain his position as General Secretary. Basintale, my friend Mustafa Gbande, wants to be the General Secretary. He has to be kicked out of that Jubilee House because he's Deputy Director of Operations at the Jubilee House. He's Deputy Director of Operations. His portfolio is quite important and quite serious. He does all kinds of things. He manages the party, the Quetia by-election. It was he who managed it straight from Jubilee House. So all of this is about him. Number one, critical is about him. First, he started the campaign to remove Fifi Quet. Fifi Quet says, you want to remove me? Remove yourself from Jubilee House for 6 months and see whether you get one vote. That's the matter. There's no other matter. That's the matter. So when you heard Mustafa Gbande on Joy FM repeating, this is not about me. It is about him. It's about him. It's part of it. So that's a very complicated one. Does he want to remain Deputy General Secretary? Does he want to become General Secretary? He has to leave the Jubilee House. 6 months. Fifi Quet is a very brutal guy. Okay. Ofusampofu is here. So now, let me go to the other side of the story. Okay, so this is the other story. The reason why the exemptions are there, and the reason why Fifi Quet had to explain the exemptions, is because he knows that as part of the exemptions, some people may think that there's a dishonesty in the equation. Some people may think so. They may think that there's a dishonesty in the equation. Because you say that minister is affected, deputy minister is affected. Now, why are these rules set up? These rules are set up because you want to have a level playing field. You want everybody to stand at the same level. You want people's talents and ambition and vision for the party to be evaluated devoid of what position they hold in government. Because when you hold a position in government, it can cloud the idea, the vision of the delegates. You may have better access to resources because every candidate must have resources. Every candidate must raise some resources. That's fundamental to democracy and politics. You must raise resources, okay? So if you can't raise resources, you cannot be a candidate. Now, the raising of resources is also part of the skill that is being assessed by delegates. So if a person is a minister, he may not even need to raise the resources as a credible candidate. He can